Hey everyone, so as you can probably tell, today's video is going to be about the Origin M50. It received some changes to its interior in this update, and it's just a really cool ship, so I wanted to check it out. The Origin M50 is mostly a racing ship, but it can also work as an interceptor. Unfortunately, racing is not in the persistent universe yet, so most of this video is going to be about using this ship for combat, since that's the only thing it can really do right now. However, I did try racing it in Arena Commander, since racing should be in the PU sometime soon, and I'll share my thoughts about how it does in this regard as well. So I'm not a big fan of the stock loadout for this ship. The main issue for me are the weapons that it has, which are two fixed, slow-firing M4As. Since this ship is pretty fast, I don't think it makes much sense to have these longer range focus guns, and since you're going to want to be trying to evade as much enemy fire with this ship as possible, it's going to be hard to land shots with their low fire rate. Also, even with these both being fixed weapons, they do very little damage, as you can probably see from this. So if you're even considering doing combat missions with this ship, I would highly suggest changing up its loadout. So here's the stock loadout, and as you can see, the numbers aren't that great. If you don't have a ton of credits, just changing the guns on this ship can still make a big difference. So here I went with the Dominance 2 laser scatter guns, and you can see that the DPS is much higher with these. Be careful when looking at this number though, because that assumes that you hit all of the individual shots, which is normally not going to be the case since these are scatter guns. It still is a big damage bump though, especially against bigger targets. The rest of the equipment could use some changing too, at least for now while you don't get any benefit from using these racing components that it comes with stock. So first I'd change the quantum drive since the stock one is very slow. The shields are pretty weak as well, so I changed those out and upgraded the power unit to accommodate this. Even if you upgrade all of this, it's not too expensive, and the only thing on here that's kind of hard to find are the scatter guns. They're only available on Hurston, and you have to go to the central business district to find them. If you don't know about the weapons shop here, it can be a little hard to find. So with this upgraded loadout, this ship is much more capable. It's never really going to be a great PvP fighter since that's not what it's made for, but with these changes you can do pretty much any NPC combat missions you want. The only time you'll run into trouble is if there's a lot of enemies targeting you with missiles, since the ship is kind of fragile if you get hit, and right now there's no real consistent way to dodge missiles. However, it's pretty easy to dodge enemy fire since the ship is quite fast, and these scatterguns make it a lot easier to take out fighters, and make it possible to take out larger ships as well, which would have taken forever before with the weapons that this came with. So my overall thoughts on this ship though are a bit mixed. I think right now it's good that it does have some weapon hardpoints and is somewhat combat capable, because otherwise it would have zero purpose in the verse right now. This ship can be a lot of fun for doing some PvE combat, and even has the bonus of being able to be spawned at outposts from the vehicle retrieval terminals. However, I feel like the fact that it is armed limits how good of a racer CIG can make it, since if they make it too fast and maneuverable, it could be better than light fighters at their job, and be a real nuisance if someone tried to use it in that role. This makes it kind of tough though, because even though I'm not the best racer, so a lot of the reason my flying was slow was my fault, it does feel very drifty. I'm hoping that when they add in control surfaces to ships, this will be helped, at least in atmosphere, but right now, trying to fly this fast kind of feels like flying a brick with a really big rocket on the back. Now that is an interesting challenge, but I'm not sure it makes for a fun racing experience. I feel like if they didn't have to worry about it being too fast as a fighter by reducing its combat capabilities, they could make it even faster, because right now it doesn't feel all that different to fly from ships like my Buccaneer, even though this is basically supposed to be Star Citizen's F1 car. That's just my opinion though, and I'm interested to see what changes they make as they implement more racing features into the game, because racing isn't even in the persistent universe yet. I think racing will be a great addition as a gameplay loop, but I just hope that they look into making these racing ships a little bit more responsive. I'd like to hear what you guys think about this though. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.